So what if you believed you were destined for greatness? I mean, so great that you actually had the right to kill someone. It's a terrifying question, right? And it's at the very heart of one of the most haunting psychological thrillers ever written. Today, we're going inside the mind of a man who decides to put that very idea to the ultimate test. Hear that? That isn't just a question. That is the sound of a trap snapping shut. It's that feeling of being so completely cornered by life that the most unthinkable act starts to look like the only way out. This is the exact state of mind where our story kicks off. Okay, so let's meet our guy, Rodion Raskolnikov. Picture this. The city itself is suffocating. The air is thick with the stench of poverty, and in a tiny attic room, a man is about to completely unravel. Now, Dostoyevsky doesn't just set a scene here. He paints a picture of total oppression. Raskolnikov isn't just poor, he is physically and mentally trapped. I mean, his room is literally described as being like a coffin, he's starving, and every single human interaction is just another source of shame. So this environment, it's not just a backdrop. No, it is the pressure cooker for the terrible idea that's starting to form in his mind. So, to escape this crushing reality, where does Raskolnikov go? He retreats into the one place he feels powerful, his own intellect. And it's here, in the isolation of his own head, that he cooks up this truly dangerous philosophy. At the core of all his thinking is this theory. See, Raskolnikov believes that history is really shaped by a handful of extraordinary men. Think figures like Napoleon. These guys, he thinks, are allowed to step over blood, to commit crimes if it's all for a greater good. And everyone else, well, they're just ordinary material born to obey. And just look at this breakdown. It shows you the sheer arrogance of his idea. It's this grand, intellectual excuse for murder. He manages to convince himself that this old pawnbroker is just a worthless louse, and her death could free up money to help countless others. But let's be real, this theory is really about one thing. It's about answering this very question. See, he doesn't just want to commit a crime. He is desperate to prove to himself that he is one of the extraordinary ones. The murder becomes a test of his own greatness. And just like that, the intellectual game is over. Raskolnikov decides he's going to put his theory into practice. The dream is about to smash head-on into a brutal, bloody reality. You can just feel the tension in these moments, can't you? Every single step is calculated. Listen at the door, check the axe, ring the bell. It all feels so planned, so neat. But what's about to happen is anything but. The reality is an absolute nightmare. He fumbles, he panics, and then a second person, an innocent person, the pawnbroker's kind sister, Lizaveta, stumbles onto the scene. And he kills her too. In an instant, his entire grand theory of a clean, extraordinary act just crumbles into a sordid, pointless, bloody mess. Now, this is where the novel becomes a true masterpiece. Raskolnikov actually gets away with it. The police have no idea. But his real punishment has already started, and his prison isn't a cell. It's his own mind. Almost immediately, his own body and mind turn on him. He's hit with fever, delirium, crippling paranoia. He can't even stand to be around his family anymore, and every knock on the door sounds like the police are there for him. That cold intellectual pride is completely gone, replaced by pure, sickening horror. He didn't prove he was a Napoleon, he just proved he had a conscience. And here's the ultimate irony, right? His crime didn't raise him above humanity, it completely severed him from it. This deep, agonizing isolation, that becomes his true punishment. He is utterly, completely alone with what he's done. And the brilliant investigator on the case, Porfiry, he gets this. He has no real evidence, but he sees right through Raskolnikov. He knows this wasn't some simple robbery. Nope. This was a crime born from an idea. And so he starts this terrifying psychological cat-and-mouse game, just trying to push Raskolnikov into confessing all on his own. So, tormented by guilt and hunted by Porfiry, Raskolnikov realizes he has absolutely nowhere left to go. But in this city full of suffering, he finds one person whose own pain might just be big enough to understand his. Sonia is his total opposite. Where he chose to break the law out of intellectual pride, she has sacrificed her own body and soul for her family. He sees in her another outcast, and for the first time, a glimmer of a different path, not through the mind, but through faith and humility. She is the only person in the world he can tell. And so he confesses. He lays his entire theory out for her, this grand, intellectual reason for committing murder. And he's expecting what? I don't know, maybe understanding? Justification? And right there, with that one word, his entire worldview just shatters. Sonia refuses to accept his logic. Her simple human compassion completely invalidates his complex intellectual fantasy. He killed for a theory, and in the face of true empathy, that theory means absolutely nothing. Sonia shows him the only real way out, and it's not an escape from punishment, it's an embrace of it. The path to rejoining humanity, she tells him, is to confess publicly, to accept his sentence, and to find redemption through that suffering. And ultimately, Raskolnikov does confess. He's sent to a prison camp in Siberia, and Sonia, amazingly, follows him. The novel ends right there, on this incredible note of hope. The crime and its punishment, that's over. But his real life, his slow, spiritual rebirth, that's just beginning. So the book leaves us here with this enormous question. Can a person really wash away the stain of murder through suffering and faith? Or are some acts so monstrous that they put you beyond redemption forever? That's the question that makes this story so powerful and so absolutely timeless.